Hello and welcome to the Sausage Kerb British Touring Car Watch Along. Now, hopefully you can hear me because I am on the most rattly old pair of headphones I could find since I broke my own headphones last night. I've got a brand new set, but I've not had enough time to set them up today. So, where are we? It looks like we're all just ready on the grid just now. I believe there might be a minute silence for the passing of the Queen. But yeah, all ready to go at Silverstone. So, oh, here's Rich. Thanks, Rich. Cheers. I was wondering if I'd go on and forget to press unmute. I'll just have to make sure that all the live timings that should come up when they start. Yeah, there's nothing yet on these screens. So these screens up here, these blue screens, should start filling up with the drivers as they complete either the formation lap or their first full lap with any luck. If not, you'll just have to rely on watching us, watching me on here and watching ITV coverage, which is what I'm watching just now. Hopefully you can't hear any feedback of that. So sorry, I'm just listening in because it looks like they're going to pause. Yeah, they're having a moment's silence to pay its respects to the Queen. So basically, just now on TV is Alan Hyde's reading out basically about the news about the Queen, which happened last week. But we've obviously not had a touring car race since a good 4 weeks before that, so this is the first chance for the BTCC to pay its respects to the Queen and to the new King. I'll stay quiet for the national anthem. Now it was interesting actually, just on the warm up to the show as the guys were talking, they were saying that this isn't a driver friendly track. A lot of the drivers don't really like this track, but we usually see some brilliant action here, so it's a bit of a weird one really. Just a reminder that of the grid as it lines up. Actually, I've had to write it down. It is Rory Butcher who's on pole in the Toyota, and Jake Hill's behind him. Behind him is then third Morgan, Ingram fourth, Camish fifth, Collard sixth, Sutton seventh, Shedden eighth, ninth Dan Lloyd, and 10th is Turkington. So when we look at the championship standings, it's a bit of a mix-up in there. Rory Butcher's just chatting just now. But I'll just get up just now because the championship's quite complex. Manufacturer-wise, BMW are on 654 points. So they're, and the next one is the Motorbase Fords, who are on 576 points. And then you've got Accelerate behind them in 545 points. So It is relatively close. Constructors is all to go for. With the point system that we've got, you get 20 points for first, you get 17 points for second, 15 points for third, 13 points for fourth, 11 points for fifth, 10 points for sixth, and then it goes from that 9, 8, 7, 6 all the way down to 15th place. So really, when you look at the grid, Turkington from 10th, he's got a chance of going forward in the BMW. Turkington's obviously, he's the championship leader. He's on 311 points, and he is 6 points ahead of Ash Sutton, which is nothing really. But Ash sitting down in 7th. So yeah, I mean, it could be, if it finishes the way it is just now, I think Sutton in 7th would be 9 points, and Turkington in 10th would be 6 points. So really, it's only a 3-point difference. Which would close that up. If it just finished as it sat now, it would close the championship down to 11 minus 3. John's got to do quick maths, which he's absolutely rank at. But it would close it down to about 3. Yeah, it would close it down to 2 points. So, but then you've got Ingram in the mix. Ingram's on 293 points. A race win for him today, or to finish just a few places ahead of either Ash Sutton or Turkington, could just bring him right back into it for the final round, which is Brands Hatch in a couple of weeks. Is that a couple of weeks? I need to check that. But Ingram's, sorry, so I've not even spoke about Ingram. Ingram's in 4th. Excuse me. So Ingram's ahead of both of these. So if Ingram can make up some good positions and get up to first and get full points, then there's a good chance that Ingram could actually go into the second race either tied or basically going for the title. Or the lead of the title, that is. Speaking to Jake Hill just now on the TV. I mean, Jake Hill's still in contention, really. I mean, a lot of people have written him off from the championship so far, but he's actually, 288 points. What's he got to make up then? John's going to get his calculator out now, so I don't make a fool of myself again. Yeah, 23 points, so he'd need a win today at some point, or to pick up a couple of high points finishes and his other competitors to fall out. But I think the strategy with WSR and the BMWs just now is that Jake Hill is backing Turkington, really, so he's helping him out. So that could come into play today, actually. Jake Hill starting second on the grid. Yeah, he could be within a shout, actually. 17 points. Yeah, it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see how that shakes up. So they're just chatting to Ingram just now on the TV. Was there any notes that we've got to bring up from qualifying? Our friend Michael Creasy, he joins us on the podcast. Every now and then we're supporters. We get behind him every time we can. Creasy's starting in 20th, which I don't think he'll be that happy with, but he's got a habit of going forward on race day. He had a really, really good weekend the last time at Thruxton. I think he had 3 solid points finishes, which was about time, really. He's had really bad luck this season, but he's one to watch, actually, starting down in 20th. We've also, what was we hearing yesterday, that Rick Parfitt, he starts at the back of the grid, and he seemed really dejected, actually. He was chatting about saying how Silverstone, if anything, should be one of the tracks where the Infinity works really well for him, set up, he knows the track really well, he's comfortable there. But he was just saying that he couldn't get anything out the car which he wanted. I think he thinks that there's probably some deep problems in that car. They can't find what the problems are, or they can't solve them. And he was saying basically that the car, it's a bit of an old dog now. They are along with the Astras, actually, probably the oldest cars on the grid. So we might not see them next year. We might not see Parfitt next year if he feels that dejected, or he might fancy another go in a newer car. We don't know. So a lap round here, Butcher's lap was a 57.374, so 57 seconds you know, that we're under a minute a lap here, so you get 22 laps in, and it's usually action packed, even though you've really only got three corners. You've only really got three corners to look at. It's usually action packed. It's usually absolutely brilliant. So what we're looking at here, sorry, my eyes are all over the camp because this is the first time I've ever done this. So I'm trying to concentrate on having all the windows in the right place so something doesn't pop up what it shouldn't. Oh, cheers, Rich. Yeah, Creasy will make moves. I mean, we've seen it. It's at Thruxton. The only kind of negative point you could probably say about Creasy at Thruxton was that he had a couple of, he got bogged down at the start. He's maybe not used to starting so close to the lights, which isn't a negative. It's just on the lights, on the button, on the charge, and you've got rear-wheel drive cars around you. And he got eaten up a little bit on the starts, but then he made good progress during the races again and finished solid. Like, he was proper happy with that weekend after some of the luck he's had. But yeah, well, I've got an ad break on mine just now, so I was thinking maybe we should just have a little prediction. I've not even thought that far ahead. Yeah, it will be really close front to back. On the quali, I think it was the top 20 drivers were covered by just over half a second. That's pretty impressive. I'd like to see that marked out on the track, that half a second, to show you the quickest car against the car, Creasy basically, who finished. He was only about, I think he was 0.524 of a second or something off of pole, which that's mega really when you think about it. I know it's a short lap, and I know they say there's only really three technical areas of the track, but I think it's probably a little bit more difficult than it looks. I did have some other info, which I'll try and get up, and hopefully it's. Yeah, hybrid's a weird one. I'm not sure. I mean, the problem is this is the first season where we've used hybrids, so there's been a lot of complaints up and down the grid about balance of performance. We've not got the ballast anymore, so we've got this kind of, it's a little bit of an unknown quantity with how much power and how much hybrid you give to each car, and they're two totally different things. So you've got the hybrid allowance, which should just be a set amount of extra horsepower that the hybrid gives your car for a set amount of seconds per lap. But there's also talk about the rear-wheel drive cars being slightly stronger with hybrid, and then the front-wheel drive cars being weaker in certain areas, certain tracks. So, I mean, there's probably a full season. Hopefully, this season they've collected enough data to completely balance the hybrid system for next season, and hopefully they stick at it as well, because a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, get rid of it," bring back ballast, still have a hybrid engine, but bring back ballast. But I'm not sure that's kind of in the interest of where the sport wants to go. But hybrid will come into play because you've got three reasonably sized straights. I think out of the kind of Brooklands, no, the Beckett's, out of the Beckett's hairpin, hybrid all the way up that back straight into Brooklands. I think that'll be quite a big hybrid point, because that's generally where a lot of the overtakes are made as well. I've not got any data up yet for this, so what's going on? With any luck, all the drivers and lap times will come down here where I think you might be able to see my cursor just now. All the lap times of the drivers should come up here. I've kind of cut and shut it so that the laps and everything are all squeezed up so we can see them all on screen. Let us know if they're actually, easy to read on screen, because I've only done it on my screen. It should be okay. Oh, where are we? Adverts. I'm still on adverts. Yeah, I've noticed that, Rich, actually. My camera froze earlier as well. I started to panic. My camera froze, I had a panic. And then all sorts of other stuff was going on. There he is. There's Harry in the chat. Right, Has. No, you're alright. Just jump in whenever you can. The thing is, in race one, it's hard to see past. The moves that are going to have to be made are going to have to be made in the first few laps, I think, for the top maybe 4, 5. Sutton could push on. Um, Butcher will fancy a win. He's had a bit of an up and down season, really. So looking at it, let's have a look. I fancy Jake Hill for this. I fancy Jake Hill for first, and I'll say Jake Hill first, Butcher second, and Ingram podium. So I'll go Hill, Butcher, and Ingram. Yeah, it's a massive day, Harry. It's a massive day. Um, I was trying to top the points in my head, but with the a bit of nervous excitement and my lack of mathematics ability, I think I worked out that the top 3 can effectively swap places today, and Jake Hill could come into the championship a lot more. It would be brilliant to have 4 going for the title into the last race of the season. It'd be absolutely brilliant. Yeah, Jake's looks super racy. I think he's even admitted that he's probably too racy, which sounds ridiculous. Green flag lap underway, but it sounds ridiculous. But Jake's been so like some of the most entertaining racing we've seen this season has all came from Jake Hill. It's a good question, actually, Rich. Well, Esther, the I think he does. Yeah, I think Camish is definitely a team player. He spoke about it. Oh, Ash Hand is looks like he's oh god, looks like Ash Hand's broke down on the grid. Hopefully he can get restarted. He's had torrid luck as well, Ash Hand. I mean, both Creasy and Hand have had bad luck this season. So there's the hybrid. If you're watching on TV, the hybrid allowance from Quali, which I've still got to get my head around. I'm still not amazing with the hybrid system. I get a bit mixed up with how many laps each driver's allowed. But yeah, it was a good point with Camish and Sutton being close to each other on the grid. I think Camish will definitely try and get up to speed and then get involved in team tactics. He spoke a couple of races ago about, I think Sutton got past him, and he was very open about saying his championship was gone, so it was a team championship. So he was 100% behind backing Sutton this season. But talking about Hill, I was talking about Hill before. Hill's been super aggressive this season and shown absolutely some of the most exciting racing we've seen it all, well, for a couple of seasons, I think. But in turn, that's maybe led to him pushing the car too much, going wide somewhere, getting caught by a couple of drivers and losing out with him and his teammate. Here we see that's the Power Max racing cars in the pits. It's kind of been the story of their season. Maybe the cars are just getting a little bit old. Because it's been a common occurrence to see one of the Power Max racing cars with issues before a race or on the start, which is not having a go at them, the team themselves, because they work so hard. They've sorted out these cars multiple times, but maybe the cars are just getting old. They just need a fresh start with a new chassis, new engines. I think a few of the teams have been like that this season, though, with hybrid issues and technical issues. Yeah, Hill and Tux at since they were absolutely brilliant at Snet, but then Hill and Sutton at Knock Hill was superb as well. And I think Thruxton the first time round, Hill was fighting with someone else. It was absolutely brilliant. So he's been really entertaining, but he's probably dropped points where you could probably say Turkington's not been as eye-catching, but he's leading the championship, and that's Turkington all over. Right, I'm going to have to refresh this page. No, it's not refreshed yet. They might all start popping out as they leave. Ah, here we go. Should start seeing them now. I just need to find the track one. Ready to go? I feel sorry for Rick Parfitt because he seemed so dejected yesterday. Like literally that he just felt he could not do anything else. And it must be really hard when that... It must be really hard when you feel like that. There we go. You should be seeing the cars kicking around on the little graphic now at the bottom. I don't know if the numbers will be visible, but you get an idea. You'll see if cars stop on track, etc. Oh, it's a bit late, I think. It's live actually, isn't it? So I'm a little bit behind on the commentary because I'm watching online. It's a good start by Butcher. Oh, Morgan's up the inside. Oh no, he's on the outside, sorry. Hill's up the inside. He had a better start, Morgan. Well, they can run well wide at Cops, can't they? Here we go then. Butcher's away, isn't he? He's had an absolutely fantastic start there. Yep, pit start for Hand. Look at the pace of these cars down this straight. So Tom Ingram's going for that move. He's looking for the inside of Luffield already. I think he's got it. So he's past Morgan already. So that I did actually predict that. I thought Ingram would be going for it, and he's up into third. Morgan will take a little bit of time to get the tyres going. I think that's been the problem all season for the BMWs, is generally they take a few laps to get them rears all heated up, and the front wheel drive cars trying to just make hay while... So Collard's came through a bit as well. Dan Lloyd's dropped a position. Ash Sutton's up a position. Well, Ash Sutton actually dropped a position, did he, on the start? Yeah, he's dropped a position. So here we go, Ingram now on hill. This is big. Can't do it this time. He might get another cutback. It's really entertaining into Luffield there, isn't it? Oh, there's a little bit of a touch. Bit of contact, but you allowed a bit of contact. There's no problem there with any... This is epic. Look at these three cars now bumping up. Now he's got to... We've got Collard up here now as well. We've got 4, 5. So there's Hill. Hill's made up the place. We've got Ingram who's struggling now. He's going to get eaten up now. Now you've got the... Collard is... Oh my goodness, I can't even see what's going on here. So now we've ended up with Hill, Morgan, Collard, Camish, is it? Ingram, Sutton's coming up behind, and Shedden's in the mix as well. Now we're going to have about 5 or 6 going into the Beckett's. Hairpin. Oh, they're all bumping up the straight. Look at this. This is, I mean, this is balls out, this. Oh no, he's turned him sideways. So this could be exactly what... I think that was Sutton on... Oh, Turkington's fell off the track, so he's having problems. It's all going on. There's too much for me to take in just now, but Butcher is flying away, and Morgan and Hill have done absolutely brilliant to hang on to each other. But look at this, there's about another 7 cars. Michael Crease has made up 4 places from the start. That's brilliant. So he's on the back of Plato just now. I mean, I don't think you see better racing than this. I really don't, honestly. Ingram done really well to hold on to that car. Yeah, you're right, Rich. This is just... Show that first 3 laps to anyone and just say, this is touring cars. And why wouldn't you want to go and see it? No, they're 4 or 5 wide going into there. They've all... Oh, I think he's got a half spin on there. Has he caught it? No. Snapped back. And I think it's Ollie Jackson who's lost a few places there. Here we go. Edwards is in the mix. Got Jade Edwards. Try to push on the back of Gamble, is it? Oh no, it's Taylor Smith, I think. Let's have a little look. I've only got the top 11 shown on my screen, so here we go. You'll see him. Oh, it was Jackson, Ollie Jackson. Yeah, he got turned to and he's trying to correct it, but it snaps back too early for him, and he can't save it. He's going straight on there and wide, but he does okay. But he's lost about 3 or 4 places. Hopefully, Creasy managed to get another place there as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, so Butcher's just out there doing qualifying laps just now. He's done a 57.920. Well, it's still a good 6. He's still a fair bit, half a second off the qualifying lap, but this Chilton's had a bit of a weird season. Well, look at this train. You don't know what area of the grid to watch. I shall just have a little look at my screen and see. Oof. Wow. There's only one slight thing I will say about Turkington. For all his consistency, he has got this kind of, when he's in a big bunch of cars like that, there has been a couple of mistakes in him. There's Creasy's, although, is that Creasy? Is he on the back of? Oh, take a breath, Jesus. Need to calm down a bit. This is my first stream ever, so there's a lot going on for me to take in, as well as the action that's going on screen. Let's have a little look then. So, yeah, Creasy looks like he's got squeezed out of place by Gamble there. I think you'll see it there. Camish has dropped a place. But you can tell these title contenders, Sutton's doing okay there. Where's Turkington's ended up in 26th. So he's basically brought Ingram, etc. I mean, Ingram was in 3rd at one point in that first or second lap, and now he's dropped down to 6th. But he'll come back. But again, Camish is in front of Ingram, so he'll just block him. Because Camish, of course, wants to sandwich Ingram back to Sutton and get Sutton in, and then he'll let Sutton pass, hopefully, and keep Ingram behind. But Ingram's not stupid. Ingram's a seasoned race title contender, really, and he's not silly. So this is exactly what. Oh, there's a trap Mac for. Oh yeah, God, that's my fault. I think, Rich. Wait a minute. Chambers technicals jumped in. Here we go. It's the way I've got it set up. I might have to have a chat with you about that, Rich. It might be because it's all on one screen. Oof. Oh my God. Oof. It was Moffat. Moffat got turned sideways there, and he nearly collected the back of. I think he actually nearly collected the back of Creasy. He has, because Creasy's dropped down to 19th. Oh no, he's up to 18th now. I think out of that incident, he got up to 18th, but he can keep chipping away. There's enough laps. Only on lap 9 of 22. Oh, Parfitt seems to have a bit better pace in the race. We know what Ingram's like, Rich, when he gets it between his teeth. Oh, I mean, he's pushed Creasy wide there, hasn't he? Buttel. And then Buttel's came back and got absolutely battered around, and then Turkington's wrapped him. It's a shame because Creasy's caught up on that again, and he's just a passenger. He's just taking a line. Buttel's still there on the turning point of the. I mean, that's Turkington out the race by the look of it. So this is the thing where if you're new to touring cars at all, this is the thing. You've got 3 races in the day, so you qualify for race 1. That's your position in race 1. Race 2, you start where you finished in race 1. So Turkington's going to suffer. That really pings his weekend. And then race 3, they have a little bit of a shuffle at the front of the grid between the top 12, I believe, or the top 10. They draw the balls out and then do the reverse grid there, which mixes things up at the front, makes it interesting. But we're not even halfway through this race and Turkington's out, so I mean, Creasy might have a bit of damage after that. If the rear end got hit, it might have stuck the rear setup out a bit. So Kamish has got taken by Ingram, isn't he? So he just has to he might try and give Sutton a tow actually, without using hybrid. So Kamish might deploy his hybrid to tow Sutton without using his hybrid, and then it'll give Sutton a 9 laps. The 9 laps that he's got, or 8 laps he's got left, he can just use that constantly. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But Ingram's on one, fastest lap. Car number 97 seems to have stopped on my screen. Yeah, it was his hand. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I'm a bit delayed on the actual. I'm going to get it set up in here, so I've got. Oh my goodness, yeah. So this could be a safety car here because it's at the end of that big straight, isn't it? He's still trying to get the car going, bless him. It's not moving. Yeah, he's in the firing line there. This has to be a safety car for me. They're coming into that turn. Absolutely flat out. Yeah, it's called. It's probably called before I've said it, but I mean Butcher will be fuming, won't he? So this is my sausage curb cup, which was made for me, with my name on the back. So yeah, he's not happy. He's not happy, Ash. I mean, he's had a frustrating season. I don't think either Ash Hand or Michael Crease we've not seen the full potential from both of them due to either really bad luck during the race or car reliability. So what happens under the safety car is they will add on probably up to 3 laps here. I'm not 100% sure on the national circuit, but they add on the laps which are lapped underneath the safety car. They add them on so we don't lose any laps of racing. Probably up to 3 laps here. If it's any more than 3 laps, then yeah. I'm not sure, Rich. I mean, they could. I mean, what we're looking at Hill. I mean, this. Oh yeah, cooling down under the safety car, of course. Yeah, they could. They could. I mean, it just depends if Shedden can. If Shedden, I mean, Shedden's made up 4 places just through, I think, sitting back and watching everyone make mistakes. But if Shedden pounces on them, we'll see. He's quite an aggressive driver as well, so. But yeah, the BMWs, if the BMWs struggle with their tyres cooling now, it could be quite interesting. Yeah, it's nice for all that action that we've seen in the first 13, 14 laps. It's nice to see that Jade isn't involved in it. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. She often has been collecting up in incidents just because I think it's just where you are on the track. If you're situated towards the kind of rear third of the track, it gets so congested that you end up incidents are hard to avoid, and she ends up in a few of them. So she's made up really good places there. Louise does love Turkington. She does love him. They're just talking to one of the race engineers just now on TV, and he's saying how difficult it is to make up all these places at a circuit like this after if you crash out first race, you're going to start from the back of the grid, and again you've got all that congestion to get through, and then it's straight line speed for a large chunk of it. But we're off again. So they seem to be saying that the BMWs actually have decent traction now on the restart. Yeah, this is interesting. I wonder if Camish. It's difficult for Camish to allow Sutton past without losing multiple positions himself. So from it, I think they might have just swapped it, did they? No, they didn't. It looked like they had, but they hadn't. Hill is on it. He's typically been brilliant on the restarts actually this season, Hill. I would like to see Butcher take the win. One, he's Scottish and he's a local guy from Knockhill Racing Circuit. But he's deserved a race win this year and he's not got one yet, so which is astounding really. Yeah, he's trying to break the toe. But Hill is aggressive. I mean, look how close that gap is. It's interesting this. I do wonder if Sutton's been on the radio saying, "Oh, here comes out on the outside, so will he have the inside into Luffield? He's got to keep his nose in." No, Butcher does really well. Just shuts the door just in time not to make contact. And then I wonder if the front wheel drive will carry a little bit of extra space down here. I wonder if Butcher cooked his laps too early because he was smashing in at fastest laps early. Got a great lead and then safety car. Creasy number 777 is up to 18th, which is good news. Hopefully he can get past Jade and Taylor Smith and Plato. I mean, that's three difficult cars to pass. Yeah, this is where I thought on the Wellington Straight they'd all be on the hybrid, and they are. You can see all the little blue lights flashing all the way down. So now this time he shows them the inside, I think, there. It's interesting. It's going to be an interesting into the race. The safety car always shakes up a little bit. Who's made the most amount of places up then? So Jade Edwards, like you said, Rich, she's made up 8 places. Taylor Smith's made up 7, so he's done really well. Bobby Thompson's made up 4. Plato's made up 5. Taylor Smith's made up 8 now. And Chilton's made up 5. And Shedden's made up 4. Shedden's had a really good race, but I'm not sure he's there on race pace alone. I think it was just the incidents that happened in front of him and he just held on. I could be wrong. You just feel like the momentum was with Ingram for a while and then the safety car kind of nips that in the bud. So let's look at the hybrid allowance. Yeah, it's a strange one, this. I'm pretty sure that Camish and Sutton will swap places if before the end of the race. I'm pretty sure if Sutton was on the radio screaming to let past, it would have happened already. So Sutton perhaps. Oh, has the timing screen stalled again? I need to sort this out, Rich, don't I? Is that up to date now, Rich? Yeah, yeah, it seems to be running down now, yeah. Still need to figure all this out, Rich. Yeah, I think so. I think it's because I work from one screen, so I've got them kind of snapped to each side of the screen. But when I open up another window to look at something else, I think it stalls them somehow. I don't know the technical terms. I'm not very technical. He's doing all right, Harry. It seems Creasy's up to 16th from 20th, and I think he's been up to 16th twice in the race now. After getting so the restart, he's obviously got it between his teeth and went for it. So it's on pace. It looks like Creasy's got the pace round here. I think he's quicker than 20th anyway. Um, so Creasy's made up 4 places, but like I said, I think he overall he'll probably done about 8 overtakes in this because he was up to about 17th, 16th, then dropped back down to 20th. Now he's back up to 16th. And oh my god, they're so close, aren't they? 0.189 of a gap between Butcher and Hill. Nick Hamilton doing okay in the Coupe Prize, sitting in 25th. But yeah, Creasy is lapping. He's a little bit off. You're in the train, so it's hard to see in it. Well, that's gambling. He's done a dive bomb. No, Butcher's doing a great job, actually. He's doing a really good job. And I wonder if it's playing on Hill's mind a little bit. I just wonder if it's playing on Hill's mind a little bit that I do wonder if it's playing on Hill's mind a little bit that he's been in these positions before and went for it with a lunge and then lost a full podium or maybe finished fifth or something silly like that when second's good enough for him. In the current standings, Hill in second with the next championship contender in fifth. Is it worth the extra 3 points to finish first rather than second? Looks like he's got a good run here though. It's difficult. Oh, that looks like, is that Moffat? Yeah, he's front left puncture for Moffat. So is that another place for Crease? Crease is up to 15th. Top 15 for Crease is absolutely brilliant. Race 1. Race 2, you'll start in 15th. Solid position to start. Then he can end up in the top 12. I think Butcher's got this. Middle of the road, so he'll be middle of the corner for Luffield, but there's nowhere for Jake to go. He's going to give him a little tap because he'll be worried about Morgan now. Morgan's had a solid race, absolutely solid race in third. Last lap, but I'm a little bit delayed, so I'll go back to my. So yeah, I mean it's been a really entertaining race, isn't it? That's Butcher's been solid. I mean he'll have been fuming when that safety car came out, but he's been absolutely solid. Jake Hill's driven really well. Ingram got his pocket picked a little bit as he was trying to go for the big. Here we go. Here's the swap over that they talked about. I think Sutton will go through. Last lap, Camish has let him through. We expected that to happen. It'd be silly not to happen, which means that sixth. It means he's only dropped a point on Ingram. But more importantly for that race, both Sutton and Ingram make up 11 and 10 points over Turkington, which is huge. So good race that. I think I'll try and get my new headphones on for the second race. Cheers you boys for jumping in and having a little chat. Yeah, really fun for the championship, Rich. I mean, Turkington's nowhere, is he? So basically that's Ingram, Sutton, all of them. Hill have all made points up on him. So there they go. There's this. Adam Morgan had a solid race there. He's had a really solid race there. He's there on pace, definitely. So Creasy Diddy got up to 16th. It was good that Creasy got up to 16th from 20th, which is so it's not a bad place to start race 2. Ash Hand will be fuming. Having to finish from having to start from 28th. He's probably just going to have to try and follow Turkington through. So that was entertaining. Woof. Got a bit of a sweat on during that. So I suppose the question is, race 2, do we think... Does Butcher hold on to that for race 2? Hill was putting him under major pressure there, wasn't he? And he'll have less hybrid. Of course, they've got to go through the scrutineering process here where they check your ride height and weight. It passed the roller test, which is the one that everyone cringes at, because if the roller doesn't go into the car, it doesn't go into the car. That's it. It's got to freely move underneath the front of the car. But Butcher will be over the moon with that. Yeah, race 2, that's what I think, Rich. I think race 2 will be fun. Where you got, because of Sutton and Camish swapping places as well, that puts Sutton right on the back of Ingram. Sutton, Ingram, Shedden, Morgan, Hill. It looks good. It looks like it'll be a really good race. There's not any rain forecast for today, is there? No. It looks like there's not going to be any rain today. So they're on a break. I was only going to come on for 3 races, so I'll probably go off and sort out my headphones and everything and prepare for race 2. I've got to try and figure out when race 2 is. But yeah, that was highly entertaining, especially the first. I think it was the first 4 laps were just absolutely mental. People just believing that they had better pace than the guys in front constantly throughout the whole field. There was people all over the place. So Turkington, he'll be pretty dejected. So it's hard for Turkington now to lift himself to believe that he can get anything out of race 2, because he's got to make up around 15 places just to get just to get a point. So oh, Harry, you're trying me now, aren't you? Let's have a look. See if I can work out before ITV work out. I doubt it. So Turkington didn't get any points there, did he? So he would have stayed on 311. Ash Sutton finished 6th, so Ash Sutton will get 10 points, so it's quite easy. That's easy maths for me. So he's on 315, so Ash Sutton's actually ahead of him by 4 points now anyway. Turk's on 311. Ingram finished in 5th, so Ingram gets 11 points. So he'll be on, wow, he'll be on 304, Ingram. It'll be interesting to see where Hill is actually. So Hill was on 288. And Hill finished, where did Hill finish? Did he finish in 2nd? Yeah, of course he did. Plus the 17 points. So he's on 305. So actually Hill's actually moved up to 3rd in the championship after that race, by my absolutely supreme mathematics. So that is interesting, isn't it? So by my maths, I believe Turks Sutton will now be leading the championship on about 315 points. Sutton, Turks on 311, and I believe Hill will be on 305, and then Ingram on 304. But we'll wait until we see a confirmation of that, because my mathematics is horrific. Hey Rob. I don't know if you watched that race, Rob, but it was pretty good, pretty entertaining, especially for a race 1. I did touch on it before the race that the drivers apparently don't like Silverstone National. I think it's because they don't see many places where they can find time, so they tend to say that they're not a huge fan of it. But it's always entertaining on the track for us, so they can put up with the drivers, can't they? What I'll probably do is I'll stay on for a little minute just to see if they show the championship as it stands. You get that gardening done. Yeah, it's alright, mate. It was just good to go live, actually, because it's the first time I've went live, so it was just good to make sure that actually everything worked. The only thing that didn't work was my other headphones were giving horrific feedback, so I've had to go into my Hardy work headphones, which are pretty rubbish when it comes to sound quality, but they work, so it was better than using the webcam mic, which is a bit tinny, more tinny than these. I think Creasy finished 16th, Harry, so just out the points, but a good starting position. You know, you've got 4 cars out the road from where he was. I think he was a bit unlucky. I think if he never got tagged from Butel, then you had the safety car. I think he would have been in about 16th, 17th then onto the safety car, so I think he might have made up a few more places. So it's unlucky, really. It's just the nature of it, isn't it? When you're at the back of the pack, I mean, I'm watching it now. Butel's just getting absolutely bulleted about all over the place. After he goes into the back of Creasy, turns Creasy. Creasy manages to hold on and stay ahead, but then he's ping-ponging off of 2 cars each side of him. So there we go, there is the championship. So it's 315, Ash Sutton, Colin Turkington on 311, Tom Ingram on 305, and Jake Hill on 305. Sorry, they're on the same points. I must have got that wrong somewhere. I still had Ingram on 304. But they're tied on points, 3rd and 4th, and Josh Cook's kind of out of it now on 246 in 5th. So yeah, it's really tight. I mean, you've got 10 points covering the top four. Hybrid must be doing something right for the balance of performance. Here's Rory. We're just going to hear what he says. It just shows you that no matter who you are, I mean, Rory Butcher's got a massive amount of experience in motor racing. I think he done lots and lots of GT racing abroad, and then came back to do the touring cars. And the amount of pressure that he would have been put under when that safety car came out, he showed a bit of experience there, because he's just talking about how his engineer was counting down the laps over the radio. I'm not sure if that helps or not. I think I'd rather they just shut up and left me alone, but it'd be really interesting to see if he can. I think Jake Hill will be happy from second position on the race 2. Yeah, Butelli's best mate caused an absolute carnage. Yeah, no worries, mate. I should really have the timetable up. I'll get the timetable up, which I should have up anyway, but I've been a bit manic today. So that's Hill just saying that one of his engineers is sat in hospital. So there's a shout. I mean, Adam Morgan won't get a lot of plaudits for he'll get a bit forgotten because he's not involved in the championship, etc. But that's a mega result for him, 3rd place. When you just think about how many places changed hands in that first 3 laps. He's a good driver, and he's probably took a season to get used to this car, but watch out from next season if he's still in it next season. So yeah, race number 2 will be at 2:25. We've got the Ginetta Juniors on just now. Right. Yeah, the commentator's just talking just now about this is the Ginetta Juniors that's coming on just now. And sadly, the Ginetta Juniors, which I've done a few TikToks, etc. on it, the Ginetta Juniors, and well, the whole Ginetta package is leaving the Toka package at the end of this season. So we won't see these anymore, which is really disappointing because I love them. I think they're absolutely brilliant. The GT4 is a little bit more, you know, they're more of a GT car when you look at them, so it's more GT style racing. But the Ginetta Juniors not got much downforce. It's all to do with tyre and driving ability, etc. It's to teach them the fundamentals, and you see some absolutely fantastic racing. So I might watch this one through. I might just have to take a trip to the toilet. So I might watch this one through. Yeah, so what's happening is Ginetta are going on to the British GT package, as they believe it's more in line with their series, their GT series. So it's a bit of a shame, really, for us in the Toka package because it's great value for money. But Ginetta have decided that's what they want to do, and it's part of. It might be to do with cost. It might be to try and bring the cost down for their series, because it obviously there's a certain cost of being part of the Toka package, and there's a certain cost of being part of the British GT Championship. There's a green flag. Have a little watch of these, they're fantastic. Josh Rowledge, who is the championship leader. But looks, someone's up the inside of him already. I think it's Reynolds. It's just funny when you watch these little cars flying down the straight. There, you'll see literally 3 or 4 side by side, and it's normal. So Sonny Smith seems like he's made up a position. Oh, he's running wide. He's on the grass. Oof. See them going down that straight. Jesus wept. Brooklands taking a really wide line. It's McIntyre that's looking to get up to third. It's massively entertaining though. So these races are a... Oof, he's ran real wide out of left field. Not sure how he held on to that there. So basically every other lap, every other race which is on today with the touring cars support wise, are generally timed. It's to try and keep all the timetable going without losing races. So they're generally timed, and if if there's a safety car or anything like that, they might lower the time. A red flag, sorry, should I say, not a safety car. Anyway, I am going to jump off for a whiz. And I will either come off stream and come back on for race 2 of the British Touring Car Championship. In race 2, I think I said before, was at 2:25. It is. Race 2 is at 2:25, so I'll probably be back on from about 2 o'clock. So cheers, folks. I'll be back online at around. I'll try and be back online about 2 o'clock. Yeah, I'll be back online about 2 o'clock. A little bit of a build up to race 2 of the day at Silverstone. So cheers for dropping by, and I'll see you all soon.